I still remember that, and it really like stuck with me. And at that point, like soon after, I started realizing that a lot of things that Jewish people were doing didn't make sense to me. And I was like, So I started distancing myself away from Judaism. And I started realizing at that point that Islam and Judaism are so similar. So, as I mentioned, I was born to a Jewish family. I was born in Montreal, Canada, to actually a Hasidic family. So, up until I was 3 or 4 years old, up until my parents' divorce, I was raised Hasidic. And afterwards, once my parents got divorced, my mother took me and my siblings out of the Hasidic community. So I went to a Jewish school my whole life, obviously up until the end of high school. So at that point, I was super Jewish, believed in God. I always believed in God, but I believed in Judaism specifically. I believed in the Torah. I believed in the teachings of Judaism because I had a Jewish education and I held really closely to that. Since I went to Jewish school, I was also actually a staunch Zionist. I was super, super pro-Israel. And it started putting a lot of doubt in me. And I remember that question specifically from that woman. I still remember who asked me that. Her name was Mary, and I worked with her at a grocery store. And anyways, I still remember that, and it really like stuck with me. And at that point, like soon after, I started realizing that a lot of things that Jewish people were doing didn't make sense to me. And I was like, So I started distancing myself away from Judaism. So I was like, this is weird. So as I was doing a lot of research, like I was reading Jews prostrate during prayer, the sect of the Karaite Jews came up. So the Karaite Jews are Jews who follow strictly the Torah, and they don't follow like the Talmud and other rabbinical texts or interpretations. And it was at that point that I realized that like Judaism, like standard modern Judaism that people practice today, is called Rabbinic Judaism because it is inspired, not inspired, but a lot of the rules and a lot of the holidays and the regulations that Jews practice today are from rabbis, from rabbinical interpretations, sages basically from the past. At that same time, I didn't really have any Muslim friends. I had one Muslim friend, but she wasn't, we never spoke about religion. But I knew some like Muslim people online that I would sometimes speak to. But anyways, we had a discussion and we were sending each other videos about like, religion. And I saw this one video about like, debates between Muslims and Jews. And I started realizing at that point that Islam and Judaism are so similar. And it was just over time, like I said, many little things that I learned about Islam that made sense to me, even the modesty and, how the modesty of like, how Muslims dress, it made sense to me. And I'm like, my whole life, modesty made sense to me because I was raised Jewish, and it just all made sense to me. And I can't exactly remember what was the last drop that made me Muslim, but I do remember when I decided basically to become Muslim. It was Ramadan, it was 2017. I was Muslim since 2017, but I still at that point wasn't like fully like immersed in Islam. Like my heart wasn't fully there, so I don't necessarily consider myself fully Muslim at that point. Like I want to fully do it. So it was in January 26, 2018 that I actually converted to Islam. I took my Shahada, and that's when I consider myself fully Muslim. And yeah, that was pretty much it, how I went from being Jewish to being Muslim.